That is a really ghetto Summoner's Rift. Fuck, it's hella confusing. I get OCD. There we go. Alright. I've learned how to copy and paste, so you won't see any stick drawings for this. As much as you guys love my stick drawings. Yep, no more stick figure drawings. Anyways, there are several ways to win the game. Well, actually, there's only one way to win the game, and that's to take the Nexus. Let's just outline that. Alright, let's just pretend you're on blue side, right? This is ultimately your goal. The Nexus. You kill the Nexus, you win! Yay! I can't draw for shit. Yay! So anyways, there's several stages of the game. First of all, to abuse, the first thing you want to abuse is the towers. And before the towers, you need to abuse the laners. Now, if you win your lane really hard and you're not taking the right steps to win, then you'll never win. Because then you're relying on your opponent to be dumb enough to run into you, suicide, and then like just end the game by killing the towers, which is what usually happens in bronze, where everyone kills each other until it's like 100 kill mark, whether it's one way or another, and then you just end the game. Now, first of all, you want to kill these towers, but in the phase of killing these towers, there's a dragon. At 10 minutes, wow. At 10 minutes is ideally when you want to take dragon, because dragon's gold value goes up as the time goes on. I wish I could make a slideshow for this, but I'm too lazy and it'll probably take me too long to make it. When you kill dragon, it respawns every 6 minutes. When you kill buffs, they respawn every 5 minutes. When you kill Baron, if you do kill Baron, it respawns every 7 minutes. So, keeping that in mind, let's just put this here. Buffs. Dragon. 6 minutes. Baron. And then, there's another important timer to take when you're playing the game, if you want to be as tryhard. Flash timers. How long is a flash? Well, normally it's 5 minutes, but if they have the mastery, it's probably 4:30, which is why 4 minutes and 30 seconds, which is why I usually time for 4 minutes and 30 seconds, or I give a rough estimate. So let's say someone uses their flash at 7:47. That's plus 5. You just think quickly in your head, you see 13. Alright, if I minus 47 by 30, then it's 13:17. If they have that mastery. If they don't have that mastery, it will be 13:47. And what happens when you time flashes is that you can get kills because you know they don't have flash. Ask for a jungler gank. Let your team know. There's other stuff like TP, Ignite, but no one really times that anyways, only TP. And for Ignite, I never time Ignite because I don't even know how long Ignite lasts for. But that's probably something you should time. If you don't have Ignite and they have Ignite and you're fighting one-on-one and you die because you don't have Ignite, that means that you didn't know when their Ignite was up or they just never used it. So moving on, like At the 10-minute mark is ideally when you want to get dragon, but unless the jungler is dead or the bottom lane went back, you can still go and get dragon before that. It's just not as worth as it should, much as it should be. But mainly you want these these three towers. Oh, where is my paint? I don't want. There we go. Three towers. All right. So a lot of times, what what most players know is that, all right, we got three towers down, we can go and do other stuff. But what usually happens when you get the three towers down is you just usually farm in your lane. For some reason, everyone just farms their lane, doesn't do anything else. When you get their third towers down, that means you have more gold, which means you have more vision. You can either, one, set up waves so you can snowball on the other tower, unless they have like Zigzagragus, which clears all your waves. What do you do when you have Zigzagragus on the enemy team that can clear all the waves? Well, great question, Dyrus. First of all, the opponents have buffs. They have blue and red buff. Blue buff is usually more important, so you should probably control that side of the map. When third towers are down, you can time their buff. That's right, their buff. It's 5 minutes. So if you kill their buff at 13 minutes, it's gonna respawn at 18 minutes. Make sure you buy 1 pink wards, 2 vision wards, and place them around the buff. It's very simple. You can place them. Where the fuck is the brush? You can place them here. You place it here. You place it here. Here. Place a pink ward here. Place it here. You know, place a ward in lane. I don't fucking care. If you have it warded and they're not showing up, you're ready for this buff. Have your team grouped up. You don't need everyone. If there's only 4 people on their side, you only need 4 people on your side. Just have your top laner push it in and then roam down to their blue. Well, maybe not to the blue, but most of the time you go middle to push it, so you apply pressure on mid tower while their top lane is still top clearing the wave. Which means you have more pressure around here. If something goes on, if you go 4 on 4, your top lane is going to be here instead of there. Which means you have the advantage in numbers. It's a very simple numbers game. Now, before we move on, before these towers actually go down, sometimes they won't go down, which means that they have zigs or you're not winning hard enough. So what do? You don't tower dive them and throw the game and then lose all of your 3 towers and get snowballed back on. You, 1, keep taking dragon over and over, keep taking buffs over and over until you're strong enough. When you're strong enough to take these towers, if you weren't strong enough before from the previous towers and you haven't died a lot like a feeder, then you can proceed on to the next phase of taking the towers slowly, one by one. Now the common mistake is someone on your team is like, I don't need to go back, we're stronger than them, and he has like 50% HP and 0 mana, and then he dies. The common thing that happens is you get wiped. When you get wiped, everything's just fucked. So to avoid that, well, what happens when you get wiped is they kill you, and then they take your towers, and then you're fucked. So instead of staying too long, you go back to base. Now, usually when you base, it's important to have a good buy timer, because if you don't, they'll probably take your tower for free. Which means that while you're healing, they're probably going to take the tower since, you know, you used HP to take one of their towers. Depending on the situation. Maybe you have a healer, maybe you don't need to buy, maybe you're Soraka and you have Nidalee on your team for some reason. It's just, you just have a billion heals and you have blue buff. Now that's a special case, but we're not talking about that. So, in the case that you do take their second towers and all their towers are down, but actually before we move on to that, there's people who will just ignore these towers. And sometimes that's okay, because then if you can get it, then that's okay. But if you can't, it's usually better to take the towers on the side, because you know why? They're extra gold. Getting towers is like getting a dragon. Well, maybe not as much as Dragon, but it's like free gold. Why wouldn't you take it? You know, get stronger. And you get more vision because your minions will go farther into the map because the tower won't kill them. Now, what you do at this point, this is a very important point. It's so important that we need to erase everything. This important point is where the Baron phase comes in. Whoa, that's this is where the Baron phase comes in. Now, if you're on red side, well, if you're on blue side, what you want to do is push lanes in and ward deep in their jungle. Okay, we'll just use orange as wards. You want to ward, you could want to put a pink ward here, you want to put a pink ward here, pink ward here. You can even pink ward here. But everything else, your wards should be like around here, you know, deep. And you want to deny vision, you want to have sweepers. So you don't have to start Baron. Most likely the enemy is going to walk through here. Let's just put it in red so it's not so confusing. Put here. I know some people are colorblind, so you'll just have to bear with me. It's just simple. Like, I don't know, just trying to review for my own sake too. Usually that's where they invade, and if you decide to wait for them, you can either wait here, you can wait here, you can even wait, well, you don't want to wait there because then they'll just ward over. Or you can even wait here and ward here. Like, you can bait Baron. And what usually happens is you don't bait Baron, and then you just fight for Baron and hope that your smiter will beat their smiter, which creates Saint Vicious situations. Now, a lot of these situations where people are like, oh my god, Saint, you missed smite again. Well, if you set it up better, and if you put wards, and you went and denied their jungler or waited for them instead of starting Baron, you wouldn't have put your jungler in that position in the first place, where it creates lower pressure situations where your jungler can smite calmly and happily. Now, unless they have Ziggs and Draven and Ezreal and Ziggs bomb and like a bunch of shit thrown at Baron, then that's different. Like you can't really stop that. So the other option is keep taking their buff still and sieging, or go for that risk. Now, there's actually games where it's better off that you probably never go for Baron at all, because chances are you're probably going to still win without Baron. But in this important phase, you don't want to fuck it up because you can single-handedly throw the game. And I've seen so many games thrown off of Baron, from Bronze to Challenger to LCS at all levels. There will be throws at this Baron because you didn't do it properly, you didn't ward properly, or you just didn't want to like just keep taking their buffs over and over. This is if you're the winning team, of course. Like if you're losing, none of this even matters to you. But well, unless you turn it around. So to review what we learned, when you enter this phase where all of their towers are gone, they're just all gone, like wiped off the face of the earth, and there's like no towers to take, and you're taking their inhibitor, do it one at a time. Like don't try to do Baron and Dragon and their buffs all the same time. Now, of course, this is not gonna really work for everyone, because in solo queue people don't want to coordinate that, or people aren't smart enough to coordinate that, or unless you're the support who's placing all the wards, then you probably don't want to coordinate any of that. But the general knowledge is third towers, you can keep going for dragons. Second towers, you can keep going for buffs. This, you just constantly siege over and over. And if you're not strong enough, go back to the buffs. Go back to dragon. And then for the game enders, if they're all dead for some reason, or their jungler's dead, go for the Baron and go straight into their Nexus. So hopefully this helps you guys a little bit. I think that I don't think anyone has made a proper explanation for it. I'm sure there's a YouTuber out there who could make like a like a slideshow where it's like really easy to understand with nice giant text where it's very readable and everyone's happy and like yeah. So just if, remember when you're trying to end the game, don't throw, please. Okay, 7 plus 5 is 12, but that's not important. Wow. I just said 7 plus 5 is